this is like literally my favorite spot that I do come to, where I try to come here even on days when I know that I can't even fly. It's just a great place for me to come, write things down in my books. You know, I have my multiple books and also my business planner, you know, so I'm always here doing something, you know. And today the winds are like whipping at like 30-mile-an-hour gusting, with like an average wind speed, I think around 20 to 25-mile-an-hour winds right here in the center of the airport. And I can even see like the wind indicators that are reading the mile per hour. They're going wild right now, and the wind socks seem pretty pinned too. But you know, other than that, the temperatures too, like today, right now we're at 22 degrees, but it feels like an average of, I think, like 8 degrees today. And this morning it was like -4 or something like that. It was absolutely crazy. But I wanted to come on here, talk to you guys more about that next giveaway that we are doing. And every one t-shirt that you guys buy will get you an entry in on winning the Paramotor for free. And we are giving away the SkyMax Pulsar with the very exclusive, suitcase, which I'll never be able to really give away again. That's why this giveaway is a very special one. And you know, that being said, like I said, all you guys have to do is go right to my PayPal account. They're $35 shirts, and really what it is a $25 shirt, but the $10 on top of that covers the shipping cost, so you don't have to worry about shipping. But when you do go and pay for the shirt, make sure you guys definitely leave me your address and also your phone number. If you want to leave me your email, that's optional. That's up to you. But I do have all that noted. And as of right now, we are at 79 shirts sold. And that's really amazing because, like I said, we are going to get to 200 shirts sold. And as soon as I get to 200, that's when I will be giving away this very exclusive SkyMax Pulsar with the very rare and amazing suitcase that is designed just for that paramotor. And you know, it's really an amazing thing that I'm trying to do for all of you guys. And all this really is too is the beginning of what I'm really trying to do for all of you, because really the goal here is to keep these giveaways going. Like as soon as we give this one paramotor away, I'm trying to do one right after it. So yeah, I want to keep this train going. And right now, you know, I have so many people every day asking me about the giveaway and what motors can go on the Pulsar. And the Pulsar can take basically any type of engine on there. Specifically, it's designed for Vitarazi engines, but they do make motor mount brackets that can put on the Paulini 202. You guys can put on any type of engine that you actually want on there, like the EOS Quattro 4-stroke engine can actually go on this frame. But all that really requires is just a special motor mount bracket, which is very simple. And to whoever does win this Pulsar, I will be able to get you that bracket of any kind, depending on what motor you are willing to put on this frame. And you know, what also makes this giveaway very exclusive is that it's coming with the Dudek lightweight harness. And the Dudek lightweight harness, my camera looks a little crooked. The Dudek lightweight harness, right? This is one of the rarest harnesses that they have actually ever made, because SkyMax had just only a dozen of these harnesses ever made for the Pulsar, because in the beginning they did a first design of the Pulsar, which now they don't make that type anymore. But like, I have the parts for the first version Pulsar still. And what it was, the first version Pulsars had a kickstand on the bottom, right? And when it had this kickstand, what was really amazing about it is that, for one, it was extremely lightweight because there was no gas tank on the bottom. And two, it was designed to have all this wild room on the bottom. And I mean, it's a dramatic difference. It's almost like wearing like a backpack now. And what was really cool about that was that they came up with this idea with Dudek about these special design harnesses that had a gas tank in the bottom pouch. So it's a really unique design. It's not, say, very ideal if you're trying to do a lot of adventure flights, because now you can't ever see your gas tank level that's inside there. But what's really nice now about it is that SkyMax has designed the Pulsar now to have a tank on the bottom of the frame, taking away that kickstand, which you still get a dramatic difference in room on the bottom. But now you have this 12-liter tank that is built into the frame. But like I said, we're giving away one of those exclusive harnesses that has that built-in bladder tank on the bottom, which, if you guys don't even like that and you'd rather have your pouch back on the bottom for your stuffed sack or tools or whatever, you can easily take that bladder out. But what's nice is that you always have that option. And it does have a gas cap on the outside of it too, you know, that you can just clearly take out and put a patch right over. But like, what I really like about it is that I go on such long adventure flights that I actually have my bladder in the pouch hooked up to my tank as well. So I have the option of, if I want to go for a longer flight, it's already basically another 2 more gallons. And like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I fly all the time. And my typical flights average somewhere right around an hour to 2 hours tops, especially if I'm flying by myself. And really, just that bladder inside the harness then is more than enough fuel needed if you were to always fill it, you know? And now having that 12-liter on the bottom of the frame too, it's like, man, night and day. You know, my adventures can go on for a very long time in the sky. And, you know, like for me, I love the idea that SkyMax is just so different than all the other paramotors. And what makes them very unique and what makes the Pulsar really cool is that it is one of the lightest paramotors that are out there and just as strong as every other paramotor out there. And I'm never here to tell you guys, oh, the Pulsar or SkyMax is the greatest company out there. I would never do that. I actually love all paramotors, and I always love to stress that to everybody because, you know, I'll make posts all the time and I always write on there, oh, I'm flying some of the greatest. And I am also talking about Ozone wings or APCO wings, or I'm talking about the helmets that I'm flying, which is whether the ones that I made, the one that I first built, that was Tucker Gott's first design helmet, to Envalo. And, you know, and the same goes with the paramotors that I fly. Like, I really like SkyMax, but I really like other paramotors too. So, like, now I officially have my own paramotor business, which is called MBE PBG. And what that stands for is nothing but epic powered paragliding, right? So for some of you guys that don't know that, now you know. And what I do with my company is that I work on paramotors. I either work on your frames, but I do specialize in Vitarazi engines. So, like, if you're having problems with your 2-stroke motor, whether what kind it is, I can most likely get that thing singing like a song again and being back to reliable like it was when you first got it brand new. And don't get it wrong, I would rather be working on Vitarazi because those are the tools that I actually own, but I do have, you know, obviously most tools that will work on all motors. And what I'm coming to realize that a lot of people around where I live, there are no mechanics to these motors or even the frames. And like, that being said too about the frames. So like for me, I'm not a welder, which is something that I'm trying to actually learn this year how to do for myself, but not for, say, for professional work for others, like especially for flying around in the sky. But I have friends that are the best welders here on the East Coast, that what I would do is, like, if you were to come and do a butt landing really hard on any one of your frames outside of a Scout Carbon, because those are carbon fiber frames, you can't weld them. You can fiberglass them, but that's not even really correct. But for the most part, some parts of frames can't be replaced, and I actually know that firsthand. I've had so many bad accidents where, not bad like where I got hurt, but I've done these butt landings so many times where I've destroyed the bottoms of my frames. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of my friends that have their own businesses with welding, that, you know, they were able to fix them back to stock or even stronger than what they were originally, adding a little bit of weight to the madness of the frame. But to me, it's like a lot of paramotors on the bottoms are like, basically, I don't want to call them shovels, but like when you go hit the ground, they'll try to scoop the dirt and then they'll instantly bend or they'll break. So I've talked to so many of my friends now that are welders that I've, not on any of my new stuff, but like my previous models that I've had to make like skis basically, or sled bottoms on the bottoms of them in the very early on. And it made a dramatic difference in strength on the bottom and also just not hurting the gear anymore, And, that was due to because like when I fly, I was taught how to fly in high winds. And like that's one thing to go do at the beach, but when you go flying high winds, say right here at this airport where I'm at, where you have the rotor wash that comes off the trees and then into the open field here, you will get slammed on the ground when everything's all good on your approach and you're about like 8 feet above the ground and you're doing everything correctly, you're just about to start your flare, and then out of nowhere you just get dumped. And I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me because, I always choose to fly in these higher winds. Today would be way out of reach in high winds. Like when I'm talking about high winds here inland, I would never push it higher than 25 miles an hour. And that is with a wind gust, not wind speeds. Like normally like wind speeds would be 15, maybe 18, 20 miles an hour. It just depends on how I feel in the glider that I'm flying and if I'm with other pilots that are very advanced, because as long as somebody else is with you that really understands how to fly and can help you out if they see you getting dragged or anything like that, at least they're there to help you. And I've been dragged, I've been through it all when it comes to paramotoring, and that's what's amazing about my journey. Like we all have a different journey with our paramotoring experiences, and like for me, I feel like I was extremely lucky to meet some of these very advanced pilots, some of these people that couldn't wait to hang out with me, some of these people that couldn't wait to show me how to do certain things, teach me certain things, and truly amazing. And that's why I love making videos and trying to inspire others, because I always stress to everybody, go get your proper training before you buy anything. Don't be that guy. I was that guy, and I am so lucky that I got to meet the people that I did and they got to all show me what to do. But what most of you guys don't realize is that how much time I really put in off the camera. Like all that practice that I did, all that time and suffering really of like, thinking that I was really bad and just kept like trying to like kite in really bad areas where like smaller soccer fields where the rotor was really terrible. And I was always thinking like, oh, there's something wrong with my training, and really it was just my location where I was. And that was in time of what I was learning. And then, with me learning how to fly off the beach was really an eye opener because, the winds normally only are good for like 3 different ways, basically like coming from the, from the south or from the north, or straight from the east coming off of the ocean, making the winds very laminar, and, that's where basically all my high wind flying has ever came from, was obviously the beach, but I have pushed it inland. Like my very first flight I ever did out of a soccer field was 15-mile-an-hour winds, and that was insane. I mean, it was scary before I got above the trees, but then once I was up there about 1,000 feet on that first flight, it was like a real dream come true. Like every YouTube video I ever watched, and my whole life changed dramatically. And that's why, like for me, that's what I'm trying to do right here, right now with like, say, some of these giveaways that I'm doing. And, I really love that I get to share these videos with you. And what I'm not happy about recently is that I haven't been posting a lot of YouTube videos because of the weather, because I just got this new job. Like you guys can see behind me, I have my new, that's my bulletproof vest and my gun belt right back there. And that is for my armed security job that I do have now down at the Coast Guard base. And what I really love about that is that I'm like a part-time with that job, and I could have it full-time, but I can't take that full-time because, I own that carpentry business. I do have that PBG business, and, I'm also a YouTuber. So it's like, really all I'm doing with that is just adding to the madness, trying to help out with the things that I'm really trying to do in life. And, like, I feel like with the YouTube money and also the Facebook money, that's really just like my play around money to be able to try to do these giveaways for you guys, or for me to always try to have newer cameras and things like that. But we all got to pay bills and we all have to work. So that's where my carpentry job comes into play. And then also my night job now, because that's really considered a night job. And, you know, but regardless, the reason why I'm doing this live stream is to just let you guys all know about the giveaway. Like I said, we're almost at 80 shirts sold, which is awesome. And really what I want you guys to know is every one shirt you buy gets you one entry in to win the paramotor. You can buy as many shirts as you want. I've had somebody already now buy up to like 5 shirts at one shot. So that means that one person has 5 entries in on the giveaway. And, you know, all I'm trying to do is keep trying to make videos and let you guys know what I am doing, keeping you guys updated. And, you know, it's really exciting stuff because like this is a really great opportunity for you guys to even have a chance to own a SkyMax model, because a lot of people only know about the SkyMax Star, and the SkyMax Star is really, really one of my favorite frames, and that's because it's really for the all types of pilots, the very beginner, the intermediate pilot, to the all pro. And man, and it's one of the best adventurous frames that you can actually have. And just so all you guys know, I'm actually about to put my SkyMax Star up for sale, because when I got this one, which is the only one here in the United States with a 22-liter gas tank, I got it as my start off with my sponsorship with SkyMax, and they wanted me to have one of their models that weren't here yet in the States. And so they gave me one of their biggest Star frames that they have, which is the 15-20 meter hoop section, and with that really exclusive 22-liter tank. So I'm going to be putting that up for sale. I only have so many hours on it, which I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I have it in my paramotor book, which I have. Like I said, I have all these different type of books, and I can show you guys for an example. Like here's my daily journal book that like I normally typically write all my daily routine stuff with. Then I have this book, which is my basically my workbook, where what money I actually make to what money I put out and what jobs I'm doing that day, whether if it's carpentry or if it's now armed security. But then I do have my flying book, where I, you know, write in all my flight time, all my let's say my mistakes or my epic moments, or even all the paramotor parts or the sales that I have, that they're all in that book. And, you know, I think it's really important for all of us to have books, you know, to keep ourselves organized, you know, a little bit. Like for me, I'm doing so many different things that if I'm not writing everything down, I will completely forget what I did a week ago. So that's why I find that to be very important, especially with having multiple businesses. And, you know, like that being said, I was just talking about the SkyMax Star frame. I'm going to have that up for sale. So if any one of you guys that are interested in that, just let me know. I'm like really sad to actually sell it, but I figured that I can let that one go, because there's a lot of people that actually like to trike, and that would be more of a better frame for triking. And I could sell it with a harness, of course, if that's what one of you guys would like. I don't want to sell my first harness that I ever actually started out with, because it's one of my favorite Dudek harnesses. And really, it means a lot to me. That harness has been through some of the craziest times and some of the best times. And it's one of those things I'd rather just hang on my wall and retire it. And really, it doesn't need to be retired, but I really like it a lot. But that being said, too, there's a bunch of new harnesses that are coming in from Dudek. So if you guys are interested in any new harnesses too, I'm going to have them. Or another dealer will have them as well. And, you know, like I said, I've been doing a lot. I've been trying to make sure I keep up with you guys on these videos. That's why I wanted to drop and do a live stream right now while I was sitting here at one of my favorite places, the airport. And to let all you guys know, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the truck that we're in is actually running right now. And that's because, so last night I worked the overnight shift, you know, down at the Coast Guard base. And I guess when I came home, I left my lights on. So this morning when I came out to my truck, it was completely dead, but I had to go do things like me and my girlfriend go do like property managing on one of the islands that I live close to. So we had to go do that this morning. And then obviously we went grocery shopping. So I didn't get to come back and play with this truck until like an hour ago, which was, what time is it now? It's 3:36. So I didn't get to really say start this truck up till then. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to go take it out to the airport. And then as I was driving here, I thought, oh, what a good time to just come do a live stream, reach out to all you guys, let you know about how many shirts we've actually sold for this giveaway. Like I said, we're doing a 200 shirt cap for this giveaway. And once we hit the 200, we will be giving it away. I did plan on this giveaway taking about 2 months to potentially 3 months. I'm hoping that it doesn't take that long, but you know, all in time, right? And you know, also that being said, I am also selling the SkyMax Star. So if any one of you guys are interested in that, and I also do sell brand new models from SkyMax. I am also their East Coast dealer. So that being said, if you want yourself a brand new Pulsar and don't want to wait on this giveaway, and also even the brand new Star frames in all colors, you know, and you know, like for me, I'm actually trying to get another Star frame. I would like to get their all gold or their all blue one. And the one that I have in my shop is the all black version. I started out with the purple one. They used to have purple frames, which they don't have them anymore. And that was actually the SkyMax Expedition. That's the first one I ever started out on. And man, that paramotor made all my dreams come true. And that paramotor, the Expedition came with the EOS 100 booster, and I will never ever forget that setup, because it changed my life dramatically, to the point where like I got to learn a lot about two strokes for air flight, which was the EOS, and the EOS 100 booster was a really, really finicky motor, like meaning it was hard to get it warmed up, you know, no matter what the temperature was outside, whether if it was the middle of the summer to the middle of the winter, it didn't matter. It was easy to start, but like no matter what, like always adjusting the idle was always a little funny. And then once I got a different carburetor and put that on there, it dramatically changed. Like it was a much better model, but I suffered the first like 50 hours flying that thing and learning that motor and training, like suffering that way, you know, and that was always tough. I don't know why, you know, I don't know if that other carburetor was just a carburetor that was beat. I don't know. But when I got the new carburetor on there, I read so many formulas about the EOS that the jet needed to always be bigger to allow more fuel to go through. And man, what a dramatic difference that made. And plus, that was the first motor I ever owned that I had my first real motor out on. At the beach, it was crazy. I probably didn't get to fly for much more than like 20 minutes in the air. Then we had a motor out of nowhere. It was just running real far, and then out of nowhere, it was just wow. And dude, it was high winds on the beach. It was like 25 mile an hour. I come down the land really nice and slow, but me being in such a, how do you say, in such a, being in the moment, you know, of like, oh man, I just had a motor out, like having this craziness going through my mind. When I went to land, I just kept my hands down after I did the flare. And when you do a flare on the beach, you don't keep your hands down, you put them right back up, especially in those type of winds. Because if you land and not turn around like you're in that reverse stage, the glider is going to start falling back. And when the glider falls back in high winds, you're creating a wall. It's going to throw you back and you're going to turtle. I did my first turtle that day too. And if you guys don't know what that means, obviously, that's when you fall on your back with a paramotor and then you look like a turtle, like your legs and your hands are up and you can't do anything because you're strapped in the harness. Dude, I was getting dragged to the ocean. It was scary. Or actually, I was being dragged to the bay because I made it to the south end of the beach. And at the south end of the beach of this island was the inlet there. So, you know, it was the Back River Bay, then it goes to the inlet, then it was the ocean. The winds were whipping like, kind of like a little, they weren't directly straight off of the ocean, but they were kind of coming a little bit of a bend, and that was dragging me to the water. But luckily, when I was being dragged, I was with one of those advanced pilots, and he was like, dude, I'm so high, it's going to take me a few seconds to get down. And he was watching me getting dragged pretty fast to the water, and I was in kind of a panic at this moment. And I'll never forget, Pilot Tom was like, try to kite the glider. And I'll never forget that. So what I did was I let go of my brakes and I literally just put the pressure on my A's. And if you guys don't know what your A lines are the very leading edge of the glider lines. So dude, as soon as I touched them, man, the glider shot right up. And as it shot up back above me, like where it's supposed to be, I was able, it lifted me right back up on my feet. And then I was able to turn around in that reverse, grab my brakes, wrap my brakes, and pull them down to bring the glider down properly, walk to it and bunch it all up. And then in that time, you know, I was in such crazy shock still that what just all happened. My first real motor out, the high winds, getting into a turtle, getting dragged close to the water, all bad things, right? And I was about, I think that walk was every bit of a 2.5 mile walk back to the LZ. That sucked. And this is when in the beginning of my flying that I used to just fill my gas tank all the way to the top because I didn't know any better. And, you know, because like I said earlier in this video or on the live stream that, you know, typically I only fly for about an hour to 2 hours tops, you know, like an hour and a half realistically. And it was so funny because like back then I would just fill my tanks. I'm always so good if I fill my tanks, you know. That's the day I realized that you don't need to fill your tank, because when I had to walk on the beach sand all the way back, it was terrible because I was watching Pilot Tom having the greatest time of his life while he watched me do the walk of shame all the way back. And it was not easy. And it sucked because it was like the middle of the summer. It was so hot out. I struggled really bad just getting back to the LZ. And I remember hurting so bad. But I didn't know what was wrong with the paramotor. I did try to start it up after I cleaned all the sand off of it. I had my glider secured where it wasn't trying to blow away. And I tried getting all the sand off the prop and stuff like that. And I was trying to fire it up, and then I realized one of my spars was broken because on the Expedition, SkyMax Expedition, they had carbon fiber spars. And they were so easy to break. And I literally broke like every single one of them on that frame, from my bad butt landings down to, I did 2 turtles ever so far in my flying career. And they were both actually on that frame. And the second time I ever did a turtle was like in the middle of a winter time a couple of years ago. Now, I can't believe that was probably like 3 years ago. And it was high winds. And what I did was I was bringing the glider up in a reverse. You know, you're looking at the glider. And when I was bringing it up, I turned around when it was still at the wall stage. And when I say the wall stage, that's like when the glider isn't like at 75% of its height yet. That's when, you know, you should really never turn around until you know that the glider is right above your head. And especially in high winds, because like when that glider is still trying to climb up, you know, when you turn around, it's going to just throw you back, especially in higher winds. And I got thrown back. I didn't get dragged or anything that time, but it threw me back. And I remember just landing on my back. I was super upset about it. I broke 2 of my spars that time, but luckily I had like duct tape on me, and I was able to duct tape my spars. And it was very flimsy, where I was like, wow, this is it. Like if I actually do go attempt to fly, my hoop section could just fall apart, and then I could just explode my prop, and it could be even a worse motor out situation. But luckily, I was able to fix it there, and I was able to go for round 2, be more patient, and I went for an actual really epic flight for probably like 2.5 to 3 hours that day. That was really fun because I flew a couple different islands. And that's what I really love about where I live, is that I get to go island hopping, you know, and it's really amazing. But what I've learned about island hopping is that when you go do stuff like that, when you fly over inlets, the wind patterns are dramatically different. And if you don't know how to cut your glider, you know, you can have a stall in the air or a collapse, you know, and I've had collapses multiple times, always by the inlets. And that is due to the wind, because I feel like the wind's like, it comes in like you think the wind's already coming, but then it does like a tornado twist because of the way, I guess, the bends of the back river bays are turning, or like the bridges are right there, so you can get some crazy rotor wash if you're low. But yeah, you know, that all being said, you know, I've been flying SkyMax from the very beginning. I absolutely love that I'm a part of their team. I love that, you know, I get to be their dealer here now on the East Coast and sell you guys their products and always have inventory. I always have parts. People ask me all the time, just so everybody knows, I have a good amount of inventory, and that'll never be an issue. I get inventory once every month to every 2 months. I restock up on all my stuff that's in my shop. And being here at I almost said it, at my local airport, when I'm here, I'm always trying to get a hangar here. And I'm still like in the 30s behind other people, but they're gonna build new hangars here. And as soon as they do that, I'll be like the first 12 that'll get a shot to be able to obtain a full hangar. And that's my real goal, is I want to get my own hangar. I've had a lot of pilots here say, hey, you can get a piece into my hangar, and I don't want that, because if I'm going to start up, say one day, a school here, which is the ultimate goal, like a private school, I don't want to be like what Tucker's doing or what some other pilots are doing, where they have this great big school of like 6 or 8 people or whatever. That's never what I want to do. I actually would love to teach people how to fly the way I was taught, one-on-one. Maybe have one of my advanced pilots come in and help out with a class of 2 people to 3 people tops. Like, I don't ever want to do a class with more people than that, because I found it so special the way that I was taught how to fly, that that's the way I would love to show other people how to fly. And obviously all the right way, all with proper training, all with proper gear, and all brand new stuff. And, you know, and that being said, like with the hangars, I don't want to share someone's hangar when they have a beautiful airplane in there. And then the next thing you know, I have a student in there, or say a friend of mine in there, that I'm not paying attention to, that are over there touching other people's stuff. To me, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. I don't want it to ever be a problem. And like I said, I've already gotten offers multiple times from multiple different pilots here at this airport about obtaining a spot. And don't get it wrong, you don't know how bad I want to say yes. You don't know how bad I want to say yes to that, but I can't do it. I just can't. I don't want to put that pressure on myself and worry about others and other people's property, especially when some of these people have had their hangar spots here for 15, 20 years, and they have these $100,000 airplanes, or even helicopters. A lot of pilots here have helicopters in here, which are awesome. But what I've also noticed too about some of these hangars here, it's like, it's not just their planes in here. Sometimes people leave their exclusive cars in there, or they have a lot of household items in these hangars, and some people's whole work life is in these hangars. And that's why I don't want a hangar unless it can be my whole hangar. And one day I will have that. It might take me another 5 years from now to get that, but I will have that. And you guys will all see that, because I'm never going to stop making videos. I'm never going to stop pushing my dreams that I actually have, because my heart won't let me. I'm too obsessed with paramotoring. And to be honest, that's the whole other reason why I got this night job. Really, I'm doing it to better my paramotor life. And, like, my construction life will never leave me. I'm always going to be this carpenter, but I'm just trying to add to the madness. I'm just trying to make more money so I can make more dreams for you guys and myself. I'm here to inspire people, to show people like, hey, there's nothing slowing you down from working a little bit more to pursue your dreams. Like, when I wanted my first paramotor, you guys have no idea how hard I worked to get that used SkyMax Expedition, And luckily, when I bought that paramotor, I didn't even realize it was coming with a glider. The pilot was getting out of it because he just got a kid, and his wife was like, you better give him everything for that thing right now. And I was already getting basically a deal on the Expedition. And I will never forget that he was basically not a kid. He just turned into a father. He handed me his glider. And I thought, you're giving this to me? He goes, yeah, I guess I got to give it to you all. And I'll never forget that moment driving home from Virginia thinking, whoa, I just got a full, complete paramotor. I needed to still buy a prop at the time for the paramotor. That's kind of why I was getting a little bit of a break on the Expedition. There was no propeller with it, prop. And I'll never forget that ride home thinking, okay, that glider is going to be obviously like a practice glider. But then when I met Asmat, he flew that glider within the first 10 minutes I met him. I've already talked to you guys about that in a lot of my videos. And that was when I told myself, wow, that glider's fine. The paramotor's obviously fine. And I've had all this stuff now for like 6 months already. And that's when I sent my glider out for its first inspection to make sure. And the glider was a 2014, I think, Ozone Buzz. And any Ozone glider that was after 2010 is when they really changed them in a very much safer manner. And basically, like say from the 2011 and up from even what they are today, they're not made much differently. Like yes, now we have winglets on the gliders and stuff like that, which make them very stable. But all in all, they're still made basically exactly the same as a 2011 Ozone to what a 2026 are being made right now. And so when I sent it out for inspection, it came back in flying colors and the pilot told me when I got it, it only had about a dozen flights on that wing with even the paramotor. And I remember thinking how lucky I was to have all that. And, you know, that's where it all started out. You know, I started out with that Buzz and that Expedition, SkyMax Expedition, I'm sorry, excuse me. But now I don't have either of those anymore. I gave away that first glider to a guy who won one of my giveaways right here on a live stream. Travis, dude, he sometimes hops on here. He's the man. And I'm really grateful that he won. I thought that was really amazing. And then two, the SkyMax Expedition, I actually sold. You know, I sold it to another guy who really wanted to learn how to fly, which he actually learned how to fly right here in this airport. I hate to ever tell people that I've showed people how to fly or I taught them how to fly because I'm not like a proper instructor, but I showed him what I knew and he really listened. He really came and hung out. He kept kiting all my gliders. You know, I let him kite any glider that I had at the time, which was my Expedition and the APCO. And, you know, like I said, I sold the APCO glider to him and I also sold him that SkyMax Expedition. And, you know, it's funny, he got that set up and now he has that, and he also has now a SkyMax Star because he's a baller, and with a Moster 185. So I did sell that Expedition with the EOS 100 booster on it, and yeah, so now he's got, you know, a SkyMax Star with a Vitarazi 185 on it, and I think now he even has another glider. So he has two full setups that he has, and he's out there flying all the time now, and he lives like an hour north from me. And I don't like saying names, you know, obviously on my videos and stuff like that without really talking to people, you know, just the respect that I give out to everybody. But yeah, you know, it's really, really amazing, you know, how I've been thrown into this from watching my first Kyle O video from YouTube to finding Tucker Gott and realizing how all his friends live right around me. And getting to, you know, watch all of Tucker Gott's videos and being even more inspired. Like how I made his helmet, that red helmet that I have. Do I have it in here? No, I have my Invalo helmet in here though. This is my Invalo helmet. This is the helmet that I bought at Bad Apples, which was awesome and very sad at the same time. Like, because I wasn't trying to buy a helmet when I was there. I had my original helmet, and the whole idea was I was gonna keep my camera rolling and go like introduce myself to everybody that I watched, because everybody was there. Everybody was there, you know, and my whole goal was not only to video myself meeting all these people, introducing myself, you know, getting their reactions just to see if they knew who I was from my videos, which they all did know who I was, which was amazing. And it was very sad that I couldn't catch that audio or that type of videoing like I really wanted to. But the whole goal of what I wanted to do with my red helmet that day or that trip was to have all of them sign it. You know, I wanted that helmet signed by all those people that really changed my life and who I'm still obsessed with watching today. And like I said, they were all there. And it was kind of a little heartbreaking that I left my helmet back here in Jersey. But that's, you know, I've said that a bunch of times now in my other videos. But I got to meet the Invalo team, and they gave me a discount on this helmet after they heard my story and what I was trying to do and who I was. And it was super awesome, you know, that I got to meet them. They gave me the hookup on it, and then I bought this because my idea was I wanted to buy a glider when I was there, not some expensive helmet. Because, you know, Invalo, for some of you that don't know, it's probably one of the most expensive helmets you can buy in the PBG game. but I can totally see why it would be a lot of money. It's expensive and it's really high quality. It's a complete aircraft helmet. And I love it. Even knowing that I put some dagger scratches already on the top of the helmet, I do love it though. It's sick. But regardless of everything I just said, guys, I came on this live stream to tell you guys about, we still have a lot of shirts to sell. You guys can get your chance to win. Dude, epic. Mike, what's up, dude? Welcome to my live, dude. I'm actually coming towards the end. Dude, that's epic, man. I wish I could go fly right now. I could probably turn around and see if we can zoom in. All right, let's see if we can focus. Oh, my dirty windshield. Yeah, look, you can see the windsock way over there. It's pinned. Oh, yeah, you guys can see that it keeps getting pinned out. Sorry for the dirty windshield. But we have like 30-mile-an-hour gusting winds today here in South Jersey, and it's bad. And plus, it's 22 degrees out. Like, really, normally the cold would never slow me down, which it doesn't. What's slowing me down right now is those stupid winds, and it's upsetting because all I want to do is go flying around in the snow. I want to go and take my snowboard and try to launch off the ground with my snowboard, even knowing that I know that when I come in the land, it's going to be a dramatic crash. We have no snow right now. Super calm winds here. Oh, dude, Mike, that's so awesome. I'm super jealous. I hope you have an excellent, epic flight. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I got very little bit of snow flying in. Last year, I got to fly the Dudek Snake for the first time, and it was right here at this airport in the snow, but I was so sick, man. I mean, I was hurting sick, and I was upset because I didn't want to miss out the chance to get to fly these other gliders that day. And I came out here, I was so exhausted and tired from being sick, and I don't even know what I had. I can't even remember, but I remember that the other pilots were like, yeah, Dan Joe, try it. The Dudek gliders are a little bit harder to keep above your head, you know, so don't get all frustrated, you know. And I don't normally get frustrated, but I get a little agitated when, for some reason, when the glider won't live above your head when it is some pretty decent winds. And dude, that Dudek wing, only the first time, me trying to learn that glider, I did struggle with my takeoff. But dude, after that one and only time struggle, every other Dudek glider I've ever flown has been nothing but a great time. I actually really enjoy Dudek gliders. I enjoy APCO gliders, and I am obsessed with Ozone gliders. I drew a perfect circle in the snow for Dragon once. It was literally perfect. Did smiles and a snowman too. Dude, Mike, that is so epic, man. See, that's the stuff I want to be doing. And you know what I really want to do is like ice skating. Like, I want to go right now, dude, all our back river bays and parts of the ocean are like frozen right now because it's been so cold. I would do anything to like ice skate on top of them, you know, while flying. That's something I want to do so bad. I'm hoping I can do that by Wednesday, because Wednesday looks like some pretty decent weather here, like 37 degree weather finally, and some calm winds. So if I can get that, you guys will be seeing me up in the sky flying. And plus, I have a whole new mounting system for my Insta360 camera, and I bought another selfie stick, and I can't wait to talk to all of you guys about that too, because there's only one guy so far that I know who makes these mounting brackets for paramotors for a certain type of selfie stick that is designed only for the Insta360. And I can't wait to make that video for all of you guys. That's going to be my next video, on top of, I want to make a video too on how I clean my gliders out with the beach sand, because so many people were calling me out on that. I'm like, it's really easy to get all the sand out of the glider, you know, in decent winds. But regardless of all that, guys, I'm actually going to end the live. I wanted to reach out to all you guys, let you know that we have a lot of t-shirts still to sell. All you have to do is go to my PayPal account. Make sure you guys go check me out on Facebook and Instagram if you're a little confused on how to do that, because I have a lot of videos on there, and I have my PayPal link on the tops of those pages. So don't miss out. This is your chance to win one of these paramotors with just the cost of a t-shirt. And the goal is here, the quicker I get this one done will be the quicker I get another giveaway going on top of that. And I'm very excited for what's going to be the next giveaway. Growing my school too, working on a wing inspection setup. Yo, Mike, I would love to chat more, dude. Message me on Facebook or Instagram so we can talk and we can exchange our numbers. And dude, I would love to talk more, especially if you're starting up like an inspection and thing for our gliders, dude. I would love to talk about that and let people know in my next upcoming videos. So we'll definitely talk, all right? Because I'm about to talk about this other guy who makes those brackets for the selfie stick, which is amazing. This guy, Seth, he's a cool dude, and I can't wait to drop his links and to share what he's doing. But that being said, everybody, I really do appreciate all you guys for watching. Don't miss out your chance. Right now, we're giving away a SkyMax Pulsar with the exclusive Dudek lightweight harness and the very rare case that is just made for that paramotor frame. So that being said, everybody, I really do appreciate all you guys for watching. Mike, I hope you go have an epic time flying around. I wish that's what I was doing right now. But until the next one, everybody, hopefully I'm going flying up, hopefully in the next few days, and I hope you guys all fly safe. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Make sure you check me out on Facebook and Instagram for all my daily video posts. So until next one, everybody, peace out.